At the U.S.-Mexican border, a fence separates two worlds, poverty to the south, wealth to the north. We begin on the wealthy American side. These Central American families have just crossed into the U.S.
I
ask God to protect our journey, traveling with my children. They give me strength.
Recently, as many as 300 migrants a day have passed through this shelter run by Catholic Charities in McAllen, Texas.
It has been a couple of weeks already that has started to increase.
These migrants crossed the Rio Grande River separating Mexico and the U.S. They came on rafts and turned themselves in to U.S. Border Patrol. Now they'll ask an immigration judge to grant them asylum.
The families come because they're fleeing from a reality in their country where they're fleeing violence, they're fleeing the poverty that it's difficult to work.
Figures released by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security show a new surge of Central American migrants crossing the Rio Grande River into the U.S. just before the U.S. elections. And among them are 60,000 unaccompanied child migrants who've made this journey this past year. So now we're crossing into Mexico to find out why they're coming. On the Mexican bank of the Rio Grande, we find a shelter for Central American migrants. Many stay here just meters from the U.S. before attempting to cross. 17-year-old TATIANA ALARCON arrived here last week. She's journeyed 45 days from her home in El Salvador.
It was very difficult there. A lot of violence and a bad economy.
Alarcon dropped out of school after 6th grade because gangs made studying too dangerous. Her 19-year-old boyfriend worked in the cornfields, but made too little money to buy food. The two teenagers left El Salvador with little idea of what will come next.
People doubt us because we're young. They think we won't make it, but we will with God's blessing.
The difference in age means if the two were to turn themselves in to U.S. officials after they cross, Alarcon would have a chance to remain in the country because she is a minor. But at 19, her boyfriend could be immediately deported. So he says he may walk through the desert to evade Border Patrol. Hundreds of dead migrants are discovered there each year.
I've heard about the deaths, but I'll have better luck.
The two say they've heard now is the time to cross, before the U.S. election and the even greater uncertainties that it may bring. Heidi Zhou-Castro, Al Jazeera, at the U.S.-Mexican border.